Hi, and welcome to Futures Discovery at John Lothian News. I'm your host, Cortez Draper, and like you, I'm no expert, but on this program, we'll embark on the fascinating world of futures and learn from top professionals in the field. Today, we're diving headfirst into a crucial topic that affects every trader's journey in the world of futures trading: regulation, and do you need to be registered? Buckle up as we unravel the intricate web of rules and regulations that shape the landscape of futures market. Let's kick things off with the fundamental question of why does regulation matter? Well, the future market is a dynamic arena with immense potential, but like any powerful tool, it requires proper handling. Regulation serves as a protective shield, safeguarding the integrity of the market and ensuring fair play for all participants. Our first stop on this regulatory journey is the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, which acts as the guardian of commodity futures and option markets in the United States. The CFTC works tirelessly to prevent fraud, manipulation, and abusive practices. Through advanced surveillance systems, real-time monitoring of trading activities, and the enforcement of comprehensive regulations, the CFTC aims to maintain fair and transparent markets. The agency encourages whistleblowers to report fraudulent activities, cooperates with other regulatory bodies domestically and internationally, and actively engages in educating market participants about compliance. Using market intelligence, data analytics, and technology, the CFTC conducts investigations and takes enforcement actions, including fines and legal measures, to deter and address potential wrongdoing. This multifaceted approach underscores its commitment to upholding market integrity and protecting the interests of participants in the dynamic landscape of the futures market. Next up, we have the NFA, the National Futures Association, which has a pivotal role in the futures market, acting as a self-regulatory organization with the authority to establish and enforce rules for its members. The NFA plays a crucial role in investors' protection, ensuring the registration and compliance of individuals and firms engaged in futures trading, and conducting thorough background checks to maintain market integrity. The association contributes to rulemaking, covering aspects such as sales practices and financial reporting, and fostering fair practices within the industry. By providing a platform for dispute resolution through arbitration and mediation, the NFA offers an efficient means of resolving conflicts. Actively involved in education and outreach, the NFA strives to inform market participants about regulatory compliance and best practices. Through market surveillance, collaboration with regulatory bodies, and audit and examination processes, the NFA maintains a vigilant watch on the market activities, preventing fraudulent and manipulative practices and contributing to the overall health and integrity of the futures market. But here's the million-dollar question: do you need to be registered? The answer is not as straightforward as it may seem. To help us answer this question and to enhance our comprehension of how this vital regulatory landscape functions and contributes to the stability and efficiency of financial markets, let's talk to Joseph McCarthy, Senior Communications Specialist at the NFA, to receive a practical explanation of regulations. A seasoned expert in financial regulation within the futures market, Joseph has significantly contributed to shaping the regulatory landscape throughout his career. Joseph, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Looking forward to talking.
For those new to the subject, could you explain the importance of regulation in the futures market and its role in maintaining market integrity?
Self-regulation has been a central role in the United States derivatives markets and the regulation of these markets for a long time, in large part because of the historical evolution of the markets. So again, just as a little bit of background, in 1974, the United States Congress passed legislation that established the CFTC, and part of that legislation allowed for the creation of a registered futures association, or what's more commonly referred to as an SRO. So that's what NFA is. NFA's formal designation is as a registered futures association, and we were granted by the CFTC to begin operations in 1982. So we just celebrated our 40th anniversary just last year, and our responsibilities have continued to grow. You know, when you talk about why regulation is important. Sound regulation is key to ensuring customer protection and ensuring market integrity. We want customers to know that there's protections there and that participating in there's integrity in the markets that they want to participate in. So as a regulator, NFA is a resolute customer protection organization. I'll talk about that a lot today, about our focus on customer protection. And we are committed to developing the rules and regulatory programs to ensure that member firms and the professionals in our industry deal fairly with customers and their counterparties. We work very closely with the CFTC. The CFTC is our regulatory partner, but we also work with other regulators, whether that's here in the United States or abroad, to help develop rules and regulatory programs to effectively protect the investors and maintain market integrity.
When you're handling as much money as we are in the industry, you need that kind of protection, and developing the rules and programs for people to follow, and the layout for how to conduct yourself in the business and in the industry is needed. Can you clarify when regulation is required in the futures market, and what are some of the key determining factors?
Congress, through the Commodity Exchange Act, requires certain firms and individuals that conduct business in the derivatives industry to register with the CFTC. Close to 40 years ago, really at our inception, the CFTC delegated the registration responsibilities to NFA. So like I said, there's a history of the CFTC delegating work to us, and registration was one of the first things that they did. So on behalf of the CFTC, NFA registers firms and market professionals, but we only do that after a thorough investigation of their background to determine if they meet specified fitness standards. As a part of the registration function, NFA also requires associated persons to complete proficiency exams developed by NFA. Also, the CEA requires certain firms and individuals that conduct business in the derivatives industry to register with the CFTC. The CFT and CFTC regulations require, with limited exceptions, that these firms and individuals be NFA members. Being a member of NFA is actually mandatory. We have mandatory membership. The basic mission of any SRO is to ensure a high degree of professionalism and ethics of all its member firms. So firms were kind of free to join or not join if they weren't required to. Those firms would be the ones that are probably in most need of self-regulation, because they would simply evade what we pulled together here. So the CEA outlines specific circumstances that disqualify someone from registration, like you mentioned, or if a firm, so they disqualify registration of a firm or a person that acts as a principal of the firm. Other things that could disqualify someone is if there's criminal proceedings, if they have other regulatory disciplinary actions, there's other, proceedings in court, for example, and other miscellaneous matters. And I mentioned these fitness checks and these background checks. We work with other organizations, another SRO in the United States, FINRA, and the FBI even is just a few examples of how we check the background of these individuals.
How does the protection aspect add integrity to the market? If we're focusing solely on the protection, if I'm a participant, how does the regulatory landscape, offer that?
It all kind of comes down to customer protection in our role in protecting customers and also maintaining that market integrity. There's a reason why the CFTC and NFA, we have such rigorous standards and high for these individuals and these firms to participate in the industry, is because we want to maintain market integrity and ensure customers have some protections there. So that's why those who apply and are approved by NFA meet those standards. All futures professionals required to register with the CFTC are only granted registration after those thorough investigations of their background to determine if they meet the fitness standards set forth by the CEA. Once an application is actually received by NFA, staff will review the disciplinary disclosures of each application, and then use several other resources to determine if a firm or an individual has a potential statutory disqualification or anything else that may prevent them from registration. NFA also has something I want to just kind of throw a plug in here called our BASIC system. BASIC is a free tool on our website right in the top right corner. Once you go on our website, that's available to anyone. We always encourage any customer or any investors or anyone in the industry to reference that. What it will do is, if you put in a firm or an individual's name, it will tell you their registration status. So if they're registered with NFA, if they're been barred for some reason, it also has some other important information that we would say is important for customers to know there. But that's all part of that process. And also, like I mentioned, we work a lot with non-U.S. regulators to make sure that we're kind of making sure everyone's in good shape. If you're new to the industry, you're probably looking at exams, and everyone hears about series exams and things like that. The Commodity Exchange Act requires NFA to establish training standards and proficiency testing for people who want to be involved in the futures industry. There's also some information about that more on NFA's website I would get into, but that's just another example of the types of requirements we have in place to help protect investors and to ensure market integrity.
What are some of the common challenges for individuals or firms that they encounter when navigating the regulatory framework of the futures market?
A pillar of our mission is ensuring members understand and meet their regulatory responsibilities. That's something, I do at NFA is I help educate our members, explaining whether there's a new rule or something else that's coming up. And even when that's not happening, having contact with them to make sure they understand. So to accomplish this important goal, NFA provides a lot of education for our members on not only new rulemaking and regulatory requirements, but also on new systems. We'll have events where we even go through common exam findings so that we're educating members on so that they can learn and kind of improve their firm and their operations. And we'll also talk about other hot topics that are just hitting the financial industry as a whole. I'm sure they're all topics that everyone's kind of heard before. We do this through webinars. We have in-person workshops here in Chicago, where our main office is here in Chicago. We have an office in New York, so we also do that in New York, and we even go to London for these in-person workshops, again, to reach our global membership. We have direct communications to members, which includes our notices to members and other releases that we have, but even there's also a big archive of all those on our website if you were ever interested. And we participate in a lot of industry events and roundtables. If you go to an FIA event, which is, a big group here in the industry, they host all these industry events. You'll oftentimes find NFA staff there, either there attending the event and looking at, being available to answer questions, but a lot of times, we're on panels kind of sharing our expertise. And then there's other printed resources that we have, maybe those more traditional kind of stuff that you would maybe expect. Again, all available on our website. But all of these are chances for NFA staff to address questions and concerns from NFA members, including any of the challenges that they're hearing. And if we do hear challenges, we'll try to address those either directly with members or consider consider that into those educational resources that we've been doing. I encourage anyone to subscribe to our communications. You can do that. It gives you a really good sense of what we're educating members on, what's kind of happening here at NFA. That's everything from our press releases. You could subscribe to investor information, and you could even see previous notices to members. Those are the ones that are kind of explaining either new systems or new regulatory requirements. And then my last plug, I'll say, and this is a resource that's open to everyone, members, the public, anyone. NFA has an information center where knowledgeable NFA staff are ready to answer a call. It's a phone number you can email, but you can call and they're ready to answer your question or direct you to the appropriate subject matter expert here at NFA. It's a great resource with anyone if you have any questions on NFA rules, our operations, or anything that's going on. And the contact information, again, is available on NFA's website.
How do you see the regulatory practices adapting and new technologies and innovations helping trading and participants within these markets?
It's kind of been the topic for the last few years is technology. A lot of advancements there. A lot of firms and everyone in the market is looking for that new piece, that the way to stay up. And same thing here at NFA. And NFA, even over the years, has really had a strong track record of evolving with new technology, keeping up with industry trends, because at the end of the day, we want to make sure we're meeting our important regulatory requirements and meeting our mission. I mentioned Basic. That's really a really good example. It's, again, a free online tool that NFA members and investors can use to research the background of derivatives industry professionals. One thing we always say is it's important to do your due diligence, and the Basic system is a really good opportunity to do that. But like I said, we work really closely with the CFTC so that we can update our regulatory oversight programs to address new rules, new trends in order to, again, protect customers and ensure market integrity. If you're interested in kind of seeing some of these, we do produce an annual review. Our 2023 annual review went out just a few weeks ago. It's all available on our website, but specifically, we talk a lot about cybersecurity, supervision of third-party service providers, and digital assets, among other things. But those three are kind of fall into that new technology, emerging trends, all that kind of stuff falls all into that bucket. And I'll just say too, NFA, like I said, we have a track record of evolving. We'll continue to evolve our oversight programs and rules to ensure that we're meeting the evolving industry and ensure customer protection along the way.
So for individuals and businesses considering involvement in the futures market, what advice would you offer for them for understanding the regulatory space?
It really all goes back to education. If you're interested in the futures market, again, I would visit NFA's website. We have a lot of good information on what is NFA. You could see our rule book is publicly available. You could see that. Again, you can follow our communications because that's a good way of learning, but you can also see how we're educating members. Like I mentioned, we have webinars and workshops. It's all archived on our website. So you could see how we're kind of communicating with members and what are the topics we're communicating on. And if you're an investor, we also have investor protection kind of material, webinars and other things like that. Again, it's all available online. Again, NFA's Information Center is a great resource. If you want to get questions answered, they can help direct you to even parts on the website that would be helpful, or connect you if you have a specific regulatory question to a subject matter expert, one of my colleagues here at NFA. And we're always open to hearing from our members and even prospective members. One other thing we do is we host an annual town hall webinar every spring. That's designed to hear from our members. It's, we kind of give a quick update on NFA operations, what's going on here, but the majority of the time is reserved to hear questions from the members and answer them directly. And a lot of that feedback we get from members, whether it's there in that town hall or otherwise, kind of helps drive what we're, consider what we're going to do in the future. So interacting with NFA is a good way of navigating the regulatory landscape and getting answers to your questions.
Thank you for sharing your insights into intricate world of the futures market and the regulatory space and regulation requirements. Your expertise and your experience sheds light onto the crucial role of regulation and in what it plays into maintaining market integrity. We appreciate your time, your knowledge, and all the knowledge you shared with us today. And we look forward to seeing how the regulatory practices continue to evolve in this dynamic landscape. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It was a great time.